Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Karkadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. I say shalom to you, Akim out there. And this is a sit-down lesson of two news articles that I'm about to bring out. This happened recently over the weekend as we entering a new week. And this is a news article from AFP.com, from MSNnews.com. This was reported yesterday at 10:03 p.m. And the highlight of this news article for in the news of these two news articles that I'm about to bring out for today. And it reads, Taiwan says China deployed 71 warplanes in weekend war drills. China deployed 71 warplanes in weekend military exercise around Taiwan, Taipei defense minister said Monday, including dozens of fighter jets in one of the biggest daily intrusions to date. Right, there was one report saying this was a biggest military exercise drill since Nancy Pelosi met with the Taiwanese officials a couple of months back. So this is the biggest military exercises since the departure of Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan near the South China Sea. And it says the People's Liberation Army said it has conducted a strike drill on Sunday, because I did a video on that as well too previously, in response to the unpacified provocations and collisions between the United States and the self-ruled island. Data from the Taiwanese Defiance Ministry shows those drills were one of the largest since starting releasing the daily tales. In a post, Twitter, Taiwan said 60 fighter jets took part in the drill, including the 6 Su-30 warplanes, some of China's most advanced. Moreover, 47 of those short tiles crossed into the island air defense identification zone, the ADIZ, the third highest daily intrusion on record, according to the AFP database. Slovakia for a second. And continuing on with the news article, it said Chu Tai-sen, head of the Mainland Affairs Council, the MAC, the Taiwanese type China policy making body expression strong dissatisfaction at the latest incursion during a parliament session on Monday. Taiwan lives under the constrained threats of invasion by China, which aims the democratic islands as a part of its territory to be taken one day. Beijing has ramped up military, diplomat and economic pressure on Taiwan under President Xi Jinping as relations have deteriorated. One of the pressure tactics China has increasingly used to probe China's ADIZ with its warplanes, and it says according to the AFP database, there has been more than 1,700 such intrusions so far this year, comparing to 969 in 2021. Taiwan's Defiance Ministry says recorded 380 intrusions in 2020, which was 2 years ago. It says China did not specify the number of aircraft mobilized for Sunday's exercise, nor the exact location of the maneuvers. Taiwan's daily tally shows most of the intrusions crossed the main median line, which runs down the Taiwan Strait, separating the two sides, with smaller numbers went through Taiwan's southwestern ADIZ record bombing incursions. Many nations maintain air defense identification zones, including United States, Canada, South Korea, Japan, and China. They are not as the same as countries' airspace. Instead of an encompass as much wider area in which any foreign aircraft is expected announced except to local aviation authorities. Taiwan's ADIZ is much larger than its airspace. It overlaps part of China's ADIZ and even including some of its mainland. The PLA said Sunday's exercises were a firm response to the escalation collisions and provocation by the United States and the Taiwanese authorities. Beijing has been exclusion by the U.S. President Joe Biden handling of Taiwan, especially after he said Washington will defend its military if attacked by China. The Taiwanese defense minister said on Sunday, which was yesterday, that cooperation between Taipei and Washington will help maintain freedom, openness, peace, and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. The prospect of a China invasion has increasingly rattled by Western nations and many of China's neighbors. Xing's China's most authoritarian leader in decades has said that the process of what he calls reunification of Taiwan cannot be passed on the future generations. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has also heightened fears of China might try something similar. The United States has stepped up efforts for Taiwan, including a bill this month that authorized a $10 billion military aid, to which Beijing expressed strong oppositions. Tensions peaked in August during the U.S. Speaker Nancy Pelosi's trip to Taiwan, with the PLA staging huge military drills around the island in protest. Many flights in the ADIZ are seen as a way both wear down Taiwan's aging fleet of fighters as well as a probe in its defense response. There have been an increase of sorties by China's nuclear capability, the H-6 bombers. China this month sent a record of 18 H-6 bombers in the southwestern ADIZ, and the largest daily incursion to date. So rumors of wars are definitely, most certainly heating up. And this was another recent news article as well too, with the tensions between North Korea and South Korea. And that's another nation against nation, against kingdom, against next door neighbors. It says this is a news article from NPR.org, and this was published December 26, 2022 at 12:47 p.m. Eastern Time from the Associated Press of Asia, and it reads: South Korea launches jets, fires shots, possibly warning shots, at North Korea, flying range drones. It says, South Korea, Associated Press, South Korea military fired warning shots, scrambling fire jets, and flew surveillance assets across the heavily fortified border with North Korea on Monday, after a North Korean drone violated its airspace for the first time in 5 years, in a fresh escalation of tensions. And it says South Korea's military detached 5 drones from North Korea's crossing the border, and one traveled as far as the northern part of South Korea's free capital region, which is about an hour drive away. South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff says the military responds by firing warning shots and launching fire jets and attack helicopters to shoot down the North Korean drones. The attack helicopter fired a combined 100 rounds, but it wasn't immediately known if any other North Korean drones were shot down, according to the defense ministry. There were no Slovakia. There were no immediate reports of civilian damage on the ground in South Korea. One of the North drones returned to the north after 3 hours in South Korea, while the rest disappeared from South Korean military radar, one after another, the Joint Chief says. The North Korea drones and the shift response from the South came 3 days after the North Korea fired two short-range ballistic missiles in the latest in the tried run of weapons tests this year. Friday's launch were seen as a protest of the South Korean U.S. joint air drills that North Korea views as a invasion rehearsal. One of the South Korean fighter jets scrambled on Monday. A Ka-1 light attack plane crashed during the takeoff, but its two pilots were ejected safely, defense officials said. They said they also requested civilian airports and its near Seoul to halt takeoff temporarily. And it says South Korea also sent surveillance assets near across the border to photo key military facilities in North Korea as corresponding measures against the North Korean drone flights. The G, the Joint, I mean Slocky, the Joint Chief says it didn't elaborate, but some observers say that South Korean flew unnamed unnamed drones inside South Korean's territory. I mean North Korea's territory. Meant to say. It says our military will thoroughly and resolutely respond to this kind of North Korean provocation. A Major General Lee Song-oh, director of operations at the South Korean Joint Chief of Staff, told reporters. It says South Korea public confrontation of renunciation activities inside North Korea is highly unusual, likely reflects a result of the conservative government led by the President Yoon Sung Yeol, if I pronounce his name right, to get tough on North Korea's provocations. North Korea could respond with more fierce rhetoric or weapons tests or other provocations, some observers say. It says in the first time for North Korean drones to enter a South Korean airspace since 2017, when a suspected North Korean drone was found crashed in South Korea. South Korean military officials said at this time that the drones was a Sony-made camera photographed a U.S. missile-defense system in South Korea. North Korea has touted its drone program, and North Korea has touted its drone program, and South Korea officials said it has more about 300 drones in 2014. It says several suspected North Korean drones equipped with Japanese-made cameras were found south of the border, experts say. They were low-tech, but could be considered a potential security threat. It says a White House national security official said were consulting closely with the Republic of Korea about the nature of this intrusion. We recognize the need of the ROK to protect its territory's integrity, said the official, who are not authorized to identify and comment on the conditions of anomaly. The U.S. Committee to the Defense of the Republic of Korea remains ironclad. Early this month, North Korea claims to have performed major tests needed to require its first spy satellite and more mobile intercontinental ballistic missile capable of reaching the U.S. mainland. They were among high-tech weapon systems that North Korea leader Kim Jong-un has vowed to induce along with the multi-warheads, underwater launch, nuclear missiles, and nuclear power submarines and hypersonic missiles. Kim has also called for the deployment of reassess, reassess, if I pronounced that right, drones capable of precision surveillance up to 500 kilometers, 310 miles deep in enemy's territory. In 2013, he has watched a drone attack drill on a simulation South Korean target. According to the North State media, North Korea has early released low-resolution photos of South Korea sighted as viewed from space, but some experts, South Korea said the images were too crude from surveillance purposes, such as assessments infiltrated North Korea. Well, Kim's powerful sister Kim Yo Jong issuing a series of devised terms to insult identifying South Korean experts and express her anger. Meant to say, and it says North Korea is to hold a key ruling workers party conference this week to view past policies and set policy goals. Some experts say that during the meeting, North Korea will likely affirm to push to bolster nuclear and missile arsenals to cope with what is called hostile U.S. policies, such as the U.S.-led international sanctions and its regular military training with South Korea. And it says North Korea will eventually use its bolstered nuclear capabilities as a bargaining chip to win international recognition as a legitimate nuclear state by relaxing the international sanctions and other consensus analysts say. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 9, and it reads, "But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not by and by." This is the book of Matthew 24, verse 6, and it reads, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled, for such things must come to pass, but the end shall not be yet." And Matthew 24 and 7, going to the next verse, in book of Matthew 24 and 7, and it reads, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places." Yep, and that's what we're seeing, the rise or increase with the increasing hostility and tensions between North Korea and South Korea, as the tensions to escalate more and more and more, because you got South Korea, Japan, and the United States increasing their military buildup against the United States. Against North Korea, I meant to say Slovakia. So yeah, you're definitely going to see these tensions going to stir up more and more and more. That's why we're seeing a high increase of the nations against nations and kingdom against kingdoms. Once again, building up, now more stronger than ever, So these tensions in North Korea versus South Korea, it's gonna heat up. It's heating up. It's building up. So with that, hope this sit-down lesson was edifying. Of the two news articles that I brought out for today, for in the news of December 26, 2022 at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on this Monday afternoon. And so with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and above.